Hi, G99 here, Gabriel on this side. This video is my personal view on Dragon Age franchise. What I believe should be improved and merged, as well as removed from two games that are already here. Please don't see this video as a review of Dragon Age 2, but I'm aware that my opinions might be seen like that. This is just a loose set of my wishes that I think are able to start a discussion on the topic of Dragon Age. One last thing, if you are interested in a more particular area of the game, click the corresponding link. Nevertheless, I encourage you to see the whole material, enjoy, post comments, and if you like my opinions or this material, a subscription might be a good idea. Thanks for watching then. Here we go.
What do you want to know?
Everything. Start at the beginning.
Presentation. Graphics. When it comes to graphics, I believe that the engine needs to be updated, or even the whole IP needs a new engine. Eclipse Lysium engine is showing age. There is no way it can compete with other powerful software monsters out there, like for example Red Engine that powers The Witcher 2. I would say even Mass Effect 3 looks much better. DirectX 11 is a must-have. High resolution textures and even new algorithms for physics, lightning, shadow effects, water, air, not to mention the blood. New motion capture animations. I think it can easily be pointed out that some animations are reused from Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect series, not to mention reusing of motifs as well as textures on armor sets, for example. I highly suggest to go back even to the drawing concept artworks, because at the moment it doesn't look that well. Polished animation in combat, but on that a little bit later. We also need special effects, new magic, new auras. This needs to be redone. I believe the fire and cold and especially blood needs to be more real, much darker, especially if Dragon Age 3 will share Dragon Age 2 setting. Gore, rape, killing innocent people, losing party members and family members. Less oversized breasts and bosom. Isabella is the perfect example of this. Really, do we really need this over-sexualization of women in these games? I'd prefer less exploding bodies and flying limbs like in Dragon Age 2, and more brutal beheadings, finishing moves, gore and brutal killing generally. I don't think that amount of the red ihor that makes a game brutal is really the thing. I think that themes and animations, the topics that are used in the game. Look at horror games, for example. There is more playing with shadows and atmosphere in them than pure brutality. As well, we need more icons for inventory. Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Origins were very limited in this area. Camera. Back to the tactical camera as an option. No more centered on character camera, or make this camera an option. It kills the tactical gameplay. I was more than irritated every time I used in Dragon Age 2 Fireball or Firestorm or any other area effect spell. I was forced to fight the camera and the fact that it is not able to move correctly in the geometry of the level. It stucks multiple times. A lot of people were complaining that the tactical camera is not present in Dragon Age Origins on consoles. So instead of making it possible to adopt this tactical camera on PlayStation and Xbox, BioWare removed the camera in Dragon Age 2. This is avoiding the problem, not solving it.
Few in this city command such respect.
Sound dialogue.
Nearly 4 years I've stood between fanatics. And now, this.
To be honest, I don't see much room for improvements in the department of sound and voice acting. BioWare are doing a perfect job when it comes to emotions in the voices, to dramatic sound design, to use lines and responses.
Casino at my heels, and a city scared of heretical giants. Balance is held because the Qunari ask for nothing. Even the space in Lowtown was a gift to contain them. But now, the Arishok has requested you by name.
Music. As well, regarding music in Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, I don't see problems with music and soundtrack, just top level quality. Story. Setting. Thedas is so vast, I believe it is a good idea to move the action to more unknown areas of the world. We saw till now Ferelden and one city in the Free Marches, generally south of Thedas. So it is about time to show us Antiva, Tevinter, Olay, Navarra, the Ocean or Anderfels. If you look at the map, there is plenty of options and ideas to choose from. Take us somewhere new. By the way, no more one area. Kirkwall is not basically changing during the decade, or rather this 7 years. I hope to see more vast and open world. Some swamps, water, plains, mountains, more cities. Another thing, considering the fact that there is an open world conflict in the end of Dragon Age 2, it is only fitting to move the action across many places. It will give us a way to see, to feel more, to experience more this very nice crafted universe. Narrative.
A fine performance, Aemon. But no one here is taken in by it.
Narrative. The way how the game is told. First of all, we need back Origins. I don't know how you, but I hoped that Origin stories will become sort of an indicator for Dragon Age games. Origins were unique, good and rewarding. They forced you to play with different characters and they give a player a great background for the story and the world. That is what the game is all about. We want to merge with the hero, with the lore, to be forced to go through the game again and again. The one game that tried this was Temple of Elemental Evil, but not near as good as Dragon Age Origins did. The goal. Dragon Age 2 lacks an overall motivation for Hawk and his companions. In short, if there is no Blight, there is no point in playing the game. Dragon Age 2 has no story spine. We basically are forced to play 3 acts that are not connected with each other, with some plot points connecting, but not the way we would like to see this. There's no mystery, no basically antagonists, no obligation to move into the storyline. Time. If you want a story that covers 10 years, make us accompany the protagonist for 10 years, like in Dragon Age Origins, and not like in Dragon Age 2. Epicness. The idea of being forced to struggle against massive odds with a group of people, companions, who share extreme problems and grand-scale events. It's what makes BioWare games work. Bring back the epicness. Nothing is more epic than making peace in the universe. I felt no epicness in Dragon Age 2. After Final Battle Epilogues. No, wait. After Final Battle Epilogue. It was a great ending in Dragon Age Origins, not just the slideshow, but also the moment you speak with your companions, final dialogues. It makes a real nice connection between you and your companions when they tell you what they want to do in the future. Dragon Age 2 had no such thing, and it was a minus for me. Bring back something like that in the game epilogue, something more than just a slideshow showing the outcome of your decisions.
I liked my version better too.
What else aren't you telling me then? Did she send someone with the champion?
In a manner of speaking.
Characters. Protagonist. Protagonist. Races. The point of Dragon Age Origins was to go back to Baldur's Gate roots. That means allow the player to choose from a great spectrum of options. In Dragon Age Origins you have 24 combinations of start. In Dragon Age 2 only 6. There is a big gap here that needs to be rethinked. Voice. Goes along with the dialogue wheel. I don't know. There are advantages and disadvantages from using the wheel. Variety of cutscenes and dialogues with cinematic pace. One thing I'm wondering is why not allow the player to choose the voice? I know, this is a developer's nightmare and may also be a very big cash problem with investment to pay more actors. But if it is possible to have 2 voice actors for male and female hero, why we don't have 4? Is this really such a big of a problem? I don't really know. Diversity. Next protagonist should not be a Ferelden or a native Ferelden. All protagonists till now were Ferelden or close to Ferelden. It is getting boring.
Bartran's been tearing his beard out trying to fund this on his own, but he can't do it.
Companions.
The Grand Cleric cannot help you.
Explain yourself, mage.
I will not stand.
Involvement of characters into the storyline. Like in Dragon Age 2, Isabella and Anders are very important to the story, to the level that it is vital to interact with them. It is one of the things that were not present in Dragon Age Origins. In Origins only Alistair and the Morrigan are vital in the storyline, or even I would even say only Alistair, because you may refuse Morrigan and you can just leave Alistair to die, or exchange him with Loghain, right? Character design was also a good part of BioWare games, and generally most of the cast in both games are really fine with this. We would like to see them more properly. Reasonable variation of companions. I believe a number 4 to 7 is a perfect score. Less than that and we feel like we have a small number of personalities. Here, more than 10 and we end up with a legion of companions like in Mass Effect 2. With the number higher than 10, 11, 12, you start to lose individuals in an unnamed crowd of followers. Now a thing that is very important, equipment. The idea that a good character needs a unique armor is bullshit. Give us the equipment back and build a hero or a party member with his personality and story, not the things that he or she is wearing. For example, Morrigan and Leliana are hot, are sexy, no matter what armor we put on them, or we put no armor on them. Friends and rival system is a very good idea, from Dragon Age 2 of course. Keep in mind that finally arguing with your companions is worth it. It gives us a reason not to look back at them and just flow with the story. I'm finally able to stop pretending I like him or her. I can just ignore it. Okay, homo. What? I think romance with Zevran and Leliana, bisexual romance, was okay because the hero are written to that there is a motive and view that supports a homo or bisexual relationship. In Dragon Age 2 I don't see why Meryl or Fenris or Anders are willing to have a homo relationship. This was very confusing for me and I believe it needs real work. There is no point in romance that is not supported in the lore of the game, in the setting, in the character of a person. And one last thing, in Dragon Age 3 I want to see a cat companion. Yes, I hate dogs in real life just as much as dogs hate me. Don't get me wrong, I like the Mabari. The only way for me to have a dog is basically in a video game, but let's be honest, there are also people who basically like cats.
Maybe we could be more than that. Maker, look at me stumbling over my words like an ill-educated peasant girl. Some bard I am.
Gameplay mechanics. User interface. Maybe it's just me, but I like the Dragon Age Origins UI more. It has more charm and character with all the blood, all the aesthetical artistry. The Dragon Age 2 user interface is just bare minimum you need to play the game. It's not there in the end. It's like mirror glass. I prefer Dragon Age Origins UI over Dragon Age 2 because it adds something to the charm of the game. Like for example the blood on the map, like book type of the journal and codec entries. Levels and areas.
Stop! You will go no further!
More multiple paths, excluding paths, like quests that alter the path you have to take in a dungeon. So more areas are hidden to me during one playtime and force me to play again. One very important thing: no more reusing of levels! This kills the fun to a great extent. I understand that it is time consuming and development consuming process. It takes ages to map it all, to create variety of dungeons, deep cellars, you know, this kind of stuff. But the variety is what when we players feel the world as our own, as a place that is worth exploring. When it comes to exploration, we need more open areas. I prefer also less dungeons and more open terrain. Like in Dragon Age Origins we had, for example, Haven, to find the Andraste's urn. There's just 2 open areas in this quest, a village and a mountain peak. And everything else is dungeons, interiors. While the trailer, for example Sacred Ashes of course, we saw the whole party fighting on an open field of ruins. That was great. Combat and inventory system. Combat and inventory. Ooh, there's a lot to tell here. General, this is the biggest problem with the franchise at the moment. First of all, no more waves of enemies from all angles. Dragon Age 2 sucks with this. There is no point in tactical movement or positioning your mages. If in a second my party will again be surrounded from every direction. There is no point in prioritizing your enemies if we will be attacked from the back, out of nowhere basically. This was a bad idea from the start in Dragon Age 2. Move this thing away as far as possible. Lower the pace of combat. It is ridiculous and stupid to watch a hero move like the animation lacks 10 frames per second. I want a sword that is heavy, like a sword, not like a bamboo stick. The same goes for mages. Mages should be people who throw magic, not dance in the moonlight, right? But about mages, that's not really that big of a problem. What I like in Dragon Age 2 combat is the use of cross-class combos, for example. It's something really nice and it's okay. Personal skills are nice, maybe personal animations for skills as well. For example, Fenris, because of his tattoos, he has a whole tree of his own skills. That's really fine. Animation of combat needs to be redone. There should be more realism in it, not like at the moment in Dragon Age 2 where everything is just so flashy that at some moment we just see chaos, just pure chaos. More diversity in enemy types. I think the enemies in Dragon Age 2, I was quite disappointed. We have Darkspawn, bandits, or rather mercenaries, thugs, etc., and they all look the same. Templars, mages, some Qunari, some spiders, golems, dragons. I think, well, that's now when I see this, it's quite an okay amount, but might be a little bit different. Tactical screen works fine. A good way that it was removed, the tactical skills were removed. Skill trees are very good to keep that in-game junk. I prefer if loot is more than just stuff to be sold. if I find a diamond, a ruby, make it possible to be used in the game like in Origins. For example, I had the ability to give all my elf roots to the elves, so there were a little bit more of those elves during the final battle. The more stuff I will be forced to carry, the better. That forces me to choose. But the junk category is as an equipment that I can throw things there and just sell it right away. That's okay. When it comes to abilities and RPG mechanics, 3 points I have here to give. First of all, new race to play. Why not play as a Qunari if we are forced on a setting that is, for example, Saharan and Parvolan? But that might be a little bit extreme. New class might be a good idea, but I basically have no proposition here. And please, 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 really, no more quests that start from finding an item. There was something terrible in Dragon Age 2. There is a lot of these in that game. Why I don't see the point in such a thing? Like, I find something and I give it to an owner who stands there. Pointless. I want quests that are engaging, that force me to do something, not just bring someone, I don't know, his staff, his collection of flies or whatever.
Take care of Mother.
So, I hope you agree with some of the above points. I want to see where this universe will go, what will happen in the future of this great franchise, Dragon Age. What I fear is another topic for a separate video. I appreciate the fact you watch this. I also hope some of this feedback makes its way to the developers in one form or another, and will be a constructive help to them. Thanks for watching, I'm G99, see ya, bye!